Hey guys, welcome back. This is Tapper Restore Part 2. Today all I want to do is get the panels that we had cut on the first one, Part 1, installed on the cabinet so I can lay the cabinet down and take the bottom off. And then later on this week I'll cut a new piece for the bottom. I'm going to use 3/4 inch plywood for the bottom rather than particle board, because if you look down here you can see how it's just sagging. Just sagging because it's particle board. So what I need to do first is cut all these staples and stuff that are hanging out of the bottom of these cleats, reinstall the cleat here. There's some wood debris, still stuck to the old cleat. So I need to grind all that stuff off. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up and get that done now. I'm just gonna use my little angle grinder and go in here and just grind off this excess particle board that was left over from the old stuff. I'm gonna get all the glue and everything off as well. And we're gonna re-glue the new stuff together. Now you can see those are all cleaned up and ready for the new panel. On the front here, there's some staples hanging out. I might have to use my cutter to cut them off first. I think I'm gonna go grab that and we'll cut those off real quick. Right here, there's a couple screws that are like wedged against the cabinet side. I'm just gonna cut those off as well. All right, I'm gonna take my 3-inch cutoff wheel and we're gonna cut off these screws and old staples or nails or whatever they are. There's a little bit of residue I'll have to grind with the other grinder. We got some nails over here to take off. Then on these old cleats here, we also have nails on both sides. So we're just gonna cut them all off. Then we're gonna take the grinder and clean up all these edges. You can use an angle grinder to cut these. You could probably use side cutters, but you're not going to get it perfectly flush with the wood. So if you use a side cutter, you'll have to do a little bit of grinding to get it flush with the wood. I don't recommend trying to pound through and pull them out because you could just start splitting the wood. pretty quick. A couple of these are bent over, so I'm just going to hit them with the grinder. These are the bent over ones. All right, I'm gonna finish cleaning these up and I'll be back. All right, they're all cleaned up. We're gonna start with the back, the top back piece. We're using 1¼ inch, 1/4 inch crown staples in my air stapler. We got a staple, trying to think if I wanna do it on the outside or the inside. I think on these cleats, I'm gonna do it from the outside and we'll just fill in the little staple holes before we paint, because these cleats are probably about 1 inch wide and they're particle board. So I think if I go from underneath with the staple, I have a real good chance of blowing this apart. So we're gonna do it from the top side down. Normally you would do it from the bottom side up. Somebody, when they repaired the cabinet last time, ran screws all through there. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and fill those back in. I just like to use Titebond #2 premium wood glue. I will put a bead all the way down both cleats. Just a nice bead of glue. I'm actually going to put a staple right here because this is a little loose. Now these staples being 1¼ inch long, they're not going to go through the surface because you have 2 layers of 3/4 inch wood, which is 1.5 inches. The staples are 1¼ inch. As long as you don't have your air pressure too high, it's not going to shoot real far into this and out the other side. Now, when we made this panel, if you remember, the switch is in the back right corner if you're looking at the back of the cabinet. So this is just going to drop right in like this. And what we want to do is line up this back edge first. Want to make sure that we're flush on both sides. So we're good on this side. I'm going to put a staple through here into the cleat, and then line up this side, which is good as well. Four per side is plenty. we'll just fill those in with a little Bondo. I'm gonna put 1 or 2 in this back here. I don't know if it originally had them, but we're gonna throw a couple in here. Okay, that piece is on, it's good. Go around the front here and we'll put the other top piece on. And it's good to let this glue dry overnight. Now, before we put the top panel on, I need to put this cleat back on that had fallen off. So hopefully I could just see what height it was at. Okay. I'm just going to put 1 staple for right now in the center of this one in case I need to move it. But I can faintly see the line of where it was at. That should be the spot right there. Should put 1 staple in it for now. Okay, this is the upper panel that has that rabbet cut for the marquee. We're hair low on this side, so we need to tap that cleat up a tiny bit. And that's why I only wanted to put 1 staple in case I needed to move it. Now, I haven't test fit any of these parts. This is the first time I'm fitting them. That's good there. I'm going to finish stapling in the cleat. Okay. Now we can glue the top, same as we did the back. A nice bead of glue on this cleat. You know, I'm gonna put a staple over here too. Since we ripped apart the old one, it's probably better to just put an extra staple or 2 just to make sure that it's still secured. And we're going to put 3 staples. Okay, now that's done. I don't know if I'm tall enough to see, but you guys probably can see it. You can see where the 2 angles come together. It's real nice. A little chipped from cutting it. This stuff likes to chip easily. I'll touch up the chips with a little bit of Bondo when I do the staples and stuff. All right, so now let's do the speaker grill. I'm trying to find a good angle for you guys to see. Do the speaker grill. I already ground that down. These are still nice and tight. I'm gonna put a staple on each one just to make sure, put 1 in the center. Okay. Now, if for some reason you guys are stapling and for some reason the staple goes through the outer edge, don't get nervous. Just take your grinder and grind the staple down and just fill it in. I've done that before, so it's not that big a deal. Now this one here, I have to figure out which way this one goes. I think it goes this way. Yeah, with the angle, okay. It's a tight fit, which is good. Now this stuff is peeling. I'll just peel it off later. So this should fit right into here. I'm just test fitting it first. All right, we look good there. So now we can staple these in. Now this one, we can staple from here down. And I'm probably gonna put a few in the back here. There were none in the back before, but I might put one in the center and one on each side. So one here, and one here, just to keep it from sagging over time. That's what happened to the other one, is it started sagging because it's particle board, which is just like this, particle board core. This is the same material they built this cabinet out of originally. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a little glue and 3 staples on there. Now on this one, I'm gonna put the glue right here, because if I put it on the bottom of that cleat, by the time I get this back up into place, it's gonna be dripping everywhere. But I am gonna put it on here real quick, and then we're gonna stick it on there. All right. It's a tight fit, which is a good thing. Okay. So now we're gonna stick a staple up here. Well, I'm gonna have to do it from underneath. My stapler won't fit. That's all right. We're gonna end up painting all the black areas anyway, so it's not a big deal. Just fill them in. I'm gonna go around to the back here and put 1 or 2. 3 actually. All right, that piece is in. So now we're looking good here. We're getting there. Now that's all that I have to put on now is the front lower. And hopefully we can line these cleats up. Luckily there's a paint line right here, so I can kind of see where the outside panel stopped. And I can see trying to find the line of where it was at. Looks like it goes right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this up, staple this one on. I'm going to grab a tape measure so that we have the same distance all the way down. All right, just so that we're even coming all the way down and it doesn't end up crooked on us. 1 1/8 of an inch, which makes sense because there's about a 1/4 inch line of paint left. Okay, so 1 1/8 inches. And we'll go 1 1/8 inches down here. Check it in the middle. We're going straight, so we're good. Now, we're 3 1/4 down from the top, 1 1/8 inches back. I like to try to put these in the way they go. Looks like it went like this, maybe like this. Go ahead and get it glued. I could see the line barely, but it's better to just measure. hate to put the panel on and it be crooked in the front. Okay. All right, those are on. Now, we put this front panel on. Normally we would glue down here. We're not gonna glue that right now. We're gonna leave that unglued because that's all getting changed. We're just gonna put glue down both cleats on the sides. Not gonna worry about the bottom. When we put a new bottom in it, we will worry about it at that point. There are a couple nails. Just gonna hammer them in. Now this lower cleat is completely garbage. We're gonna have to get rid of it and make another new lower cleat. I'll honestly probably make all new cleats on the bottom out of pine so that they're sturdier than particle board. So let's test fit this. See how this fits in here. Okay, now if you look, just the way it's resting right now, 3.5 inches from the front face to the top of the cabinet. And over here, we're 3 3/8. So that means that the cabinet it's tweaked a little bit, the cabinet. So we need to straighten that back out. So we gotta see how, because we're missing that one leg leveler. As soon as I move this cabinet like this, watch what happens. That end comes up. See, just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab a couple clamps and we'll get it glued and tweak it into place and clamp it and then staple it, because then it'll hold in place in the right spot that we need to be. Okay, I grabbed a couple bar clamps. We're gonna go ahead, put some glue on this, and then we'll clamp it and then staple it from the back side. And then we can lay this on its back and take that bottom off. And then that'll be it for this video. And then when another day or two, we'll get the bottom cut and put that on. And then we're gonna put new leg levelers on and probably new wheels. I have all new wheels I ordered from Arcade Shop. I'm sure these ones are probably screwed up, which we will find out here shortly once we lay this on its back and rip the bottom off. I could have ripped the bottom off. I didn't want to rip the bottom off with all these other parts ripped off because the cabinet would get too flimsy and you have a really good possibility of screwing it up and getting it really unlevel. All right, now we're gonna take our clamp here. Of course, I'm too close to the door. Hopefully that'll fit. Nope. Sometimes these clamps, like this brand of clamp only has an adjustment every 4 inches. So sometimes you have to take a block of wood and put it between the jaw and the cabinet just to make up the room. But we'll see if this will spin in enough. Now don't get all nervous because you have glue on there. That glue takes a while to set up. It's not like it's gonna dry in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna have to go grab a piece of wood to stick in between this. I don't know if I have any in here or not. Let me go grab a piece of wood. All right, I just grabbed a little scrap piece of 2x4. This is kind of a pain in the butt by yourself. You can do it, it's just a little bit of a pain. Okay, we don't want to go real tight with it yet. You know what I'm going to do before I raise that side up? I'm going to put a staple in this side while it's at the right height. Now, we can try to tweak this to where we need it to go. Loosen it up. We're almost there. Let's try it right there. Tighten it down. It's staying in place right now. So now we will measure from the front face up, just under 3 1/4. Just over 3 1/4, so we're a little bit too high over here. So we need to bring it down here. Too much. Sixteenth over 3 1/4, and we're perfect. 16th over 3 1/4. So now we can put another staple, a couple staples on this upper. Okay, now that'll hold that. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take this clamp off, and let's lower it down to the middle, reclamp it, and throw some more staples in. Because what we're doing by clamping this together, we're getting these sides really tight to each other, tight to each other, so that when we staple them in, they'll stay there and it looks just like it did originally. Make sure your panel is back all the way. Make sure it does not away from the cleat. I like to put a little bit extra staples on it. You can put screws too if you wanted, but staples with the glue, they hold just fine. Let's move it down to the bottom. It's real tight, but let's just make sure. Okay. All right. Now when I put this cleat in on this side, this cleat is a hair higher than this front panel, so I'm just going to trim that back to match the front panel. I probably just had it up a hair too much. If I can cut it with my wheel. All right, now that we have all these back on the cabinet, let's go ahead and tilt this cabinet on its back and we'll look at the bottom. I haven't looked at the bottom yet. You guys are the first to see it. There are wheels that are on it, but they're pretty crusty. We'll probably just change them. But look at how bad this is pushed in. Look at how bad that's warped and water damaged. This side as well. We're gonna just blow this bottom out and we'll make a new one with cleats. Let's see if we can get this out of here. Yeah, this side's missing a leg leveler. That's why it was rocking back and forth the way it was. I mean, there's really nothing savable on this. Look at that. Just garbage. Just go slow so you don't break your side of your cabinet. It's just all garbage. Okay. We're going to use new wheels. Now the wheels from Arcade Shop are a little bit differently shaped. They have a back that goes up them. I don't know. Maybe I should use these. I guess they're not all that bad. I'll look at them and see. This old wiring's got to get thrown away. Couple pennies. Just a bunch of garbage. So we're going to replace this cleat. And these, obviously, these side cleats are gone. You can see that they had them all screwed, that bottom screwed back in through the sides. We're going to pull all those nails out, or screws out as well. This is looks like for the marquee. So what we'll do on the next video is make a new bottom, new cleats, put those on. Then we can put the leg levelers on and the wheels back on, and we'll be able to put this back upright, and we'll be able to start doing the body work on these sides and everything. I mean, they're still strong. They're still solid. They're just a little bit swelled up from water. So we'll have to grind them down and do what we did on the Journey cabinet, do a little bit of fiberglass resin on the side here and stuff like that. But other than that, that'll wrap up this video. Probably later on this week or this weekend, we'll get this bottom built and get it stood back up and start doing the body work on it. This weekend, I plan on doing another Journey video of putting the wiring harness in, and we got to make a little bracket for the PCB. We have the lower bracket, which is this one here, which I need to get that off of there, that lower bracket right there. So we have the lower one for the Journey. We need to make the upper one. So I'll show you how I make that on the table saw. And I believe that both of these circuit board setups are both the same. So I should be able to just make 2 of those brackets at the same time, and then we could just be done with it, and we'll have it for this game as well. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. This is part number 2, a tapper, and I will see you guys later on this week. Thanks.